equal mc square.
Yeah. So you think like the I talks and things in IB sort of prepare students for the research?
Okay, I think Atama, you are guiding us into the direction of investigation.
yeah.
You know, we have two different kind of investigations.
Right.
We got internal assessment, IA. We also got like extended essay. Okay. IA is like a gentle deep, a mile deep into the research world.
Right.
All you need to do is to find a good literature review, of course with your personal engagement in it, and then you try it out, prove that it can work.
Right.
But but that one is just gentle deep into the research world.
Yeah.
I think E is a better opportunity if you're really interested in research. Better do E on science, okay?
Right.
Physics,
Yeah.
and biology, okay? Because E is a long process.
Right.
You have enough time to keep working on your procedures, collect your data, analyze your data, then give feedbacks on your data. Your supervisor will do that, okay? Once you collect evidence of your data, you still have enough time to redo your experiment, to add more data points to your evaluations, okay?
Right.
So that is more like a regular research.
Right.
You know, in university, in a research group, usually speaking, we have a group meeting once per week. Normally speaking, it happens on a Friday afternoon. So Friday afternoon, 3 to 5 p.m., everyone is in the holiday mood, weekend mood.
Okay.
And professor will call all the members in the team into a meeting room like this. And then each week, one of the selected students has to use previous slides to demonstrate what he or she has achieved in that 1 week of time.
Oh.
And then we have a great discussion about it. And this result, how come it's not good? How
Right.
come this result looks so awesome? What could went wrong? We have open discussions, okay?
Right.
So I think E is more like that, because simply for EE, if you start early on, you have long enough time to experience all this process. Okay. Okay, just now I mentioned one important point. You know, in university we have research group.
Right.
That is something IB doesn't do. You know what is a research group? It's like under one professor.
Many different.
For example, a professor is working on that professor maybe specialized on, for example, fuel cells. You know, fuel cells. Fuel cells you can use different electrolyte, different electrode, different membranes for ion exchange. Okay. So that is so-called a research group. Under the same research group, you can have different topics. Okay. So a well-developed, a well-established research group in universities like this, one professor, super knowledgeable, with 20, 30 students, PhD students. Some of them are master students. Some of them are undergraduate students. They work in a team with different topics, of course, but their topics is interlinked. Okay, one breakthrough, one discovery in one topic may enhance the work of another student.
Right.
So for a long period of time, maybe 3 to 4 years of time, finally, when it's time to harvest, I mean, when we write the paper to publish, it's a teamwork. So whoever the topics are synergizing with each other, they could share the data, and then they first order, second order, third order,
Right.
publish your work. Okay. So
So sort of staying in that lane.
yes.
How do you think chemistry and physics is different in high school comparative to that of university? Maybe in teaching style, yeah, because in your experience you've done the chemistry module, the physics module,
Yeah, of
chemical
course.
engineering. So
Yes.
what differences did you see in that?
Okay, for pure chemistry, pure chemistry and chemical engineering, they are still different.
Right.
But chemical engineering is more about mathematical models,
Right.
physics models, fluid mechanics. You're going to learn them in the future, right? If you do engineering, so it's more like a physics and math. We apply them every day, okay? But for pure chemistry, it's more like mechanism of the reactions.
Right.
How to find a better catalyst. You know, some catalysts in the modern chemistry, they can make impossible reaction happen.
Mm.
So some unbelievable reaction, for example, can you believe that white phosphorus, you can let it get oxidized in the air by some proper catalyst. Then ozone will be formed in the air.
Oh.
Okay, that's a recent discovery. Okay,
Oh.
everything. The key of this new reaction is the discovery of new catalyst. Okay, so in pure chemistry, until several hundred years of development, most of the reaction mechanisms they are in the textbook.
Right.
So now they are more interested in new catalyst
Right.
and new mechanism
Right.
and how to make new product out of the given chemicals.
Okay.
It's like that. It's like that.
Okay. So there is definitely a difference.
There's definitely a difference. Okay, pure chem and chemical engineering is like two different specializations in
So
the
like
university.
within chemical engineering there'll be the chemistry modules or
Of
the
course.
physics module.
We learn a lot of
So then,
chemistry.
yeah, so then what's the difference between those modules if you compare that to the chemistry we learn in high school? So is it just more complex or?
Yes. I was graduated from NUS.
Right,
Okay, let me be honest with you. So the workload is different.
right,
The workload in university, especially in NUS, is very high.
right.
You see the IB chemistry textbook?
Yeah.
The IB chemistry that you are learning. For example, higher level IB chemistry. Our IB candidate is going to spend 2 years learning it. Do you know how much time I have to learn the same amount of knowledge in university?
No.
I got 3 months to finish it. That's the workload.
Yes. sir.
That's what's happening in US. Okay, so if you're applying for US, especially engineering or science department, you have to ready yourself.
Right.
Okay, that whole textbook is so thick.
Yeah.
3 months, professor gonna finish teaching it. Basically 3 months. Do you think professor can teach it properly? Can teach it into all the single details? No way.
More self-study, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's more about
Right.
self-studies. Okay.
And you need to have that initiative to do it yourself. Right.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, for IB candidates, for you in our next generation, maybe easier for you to adapt,
Hmm.
to adopt that learning style, right? Because you are doing
Yeah.
self-study, take your own initiative to study already. Okay, but yeah, talking about my experience in US, at first it's like a shock.
Right.
I have to overcome it myself.
Right.
Okay, I mean, for IB, if you plan well, at least you can have some sleep every day, right?
Yeah.
But for US, first year, freshman, if you really want to study well, you cannot sleep.
Okay.
It's like these, you know, in universities. You sleep, you eat, and you work.
Right.
Right? You can only take 2 of them, not all of them. You know? You sleep and you eat. You don't have time to work.
All right.
You work and you sleep. You don't have time to eat. That's good. You can stay sleep. Huh? Good figures. Stay fit. But if you sleep and you work, okay. If you sleep and you eat and don't have time to sleep, okay. It's like that. It's like that. Heavy workload.
Okay.
Okay, so as long as I know, maybe USA situation will be similar,
Hmm.
especially in those Ivy League good universities.
Right.
The same thing. It's gonna be the same thing. Right?
Okay. So just on the topic of like universities teaching, what do you look for in a great student? What are the qualities you look for when you see a student that's doing a particular thing you're impressed by it?
Okay.
So not just because I'm your student, I'm just saying.
You mean what kind of a student is still regarded as a great student?
In your
university?
eyes.
Yeah.
In your eyes.
Okay, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because we need to aim for the long run, right?
Right.
Yes. It's like this. Not mentioning hardworking. Hardworking must be there, right?
Right.
But the student need to take his or her own initiative to decide on their future directions.
Right.
I mean, they could talk with other seniors to know about the future, but they have to be the one to make a decision earlier for themselves.
Right.
I mean, 3rd year, 4th year to make decision already too late. I mean, to decide what you want to do in the future.
Right.
Most of my friends, we decide what we do, what we need, what we are going to do in the future, in our 1st year or 2nd year of university, no later than 2nd year.
Okay.
So in other words, holidays. In other words, university is not a place for holidays. Right?
Right.
It's a place for you to grow, finally into what you want. Okay? And I think one of the tips to be successful in that situation is to make your choice earlier.
Hmm.
Okay? For example, if you aim to be a researcher, then starting from university year 2, you need to start researching
Hmm.
with some professors in the department. I mean, all the information is on the website.
Right.
By the way, for NUS at least, each professor has their own website
Oh.
where their research group name is listed inside.
Okay.
Their email address even inside.
Okay.
And their recent publications, recent research topics is all there. If you're really interested in, you can dig into it.
Yeah.
And then just drop professor an email.
Okay.
If it's good enough, you will get response.
Right.